All right, so you might not know it, but people are judging you all of the time, right? It might be your hair, your shoes, your clothing. But what about the books you read? All right, Jeff, let's talk about some books out there that people might judge you by. Maybe you're embarrassed to read them in public?
I guess. I mean, have you ever felt like someone's burning holes into the back of your head? Haven't you heard that term? Don't judge a book by its cover?
Yeah, when you're on the airplane, Jeff, and someone's looking over at what you're reading.
Oh, I hate that.
Mind your
I
business.
hate that. You know, don't be ashamed of what you read. And I know we teased this as books of shame, but you know, these books are not shameful by any means.
Well, let's see the list. And then we'll
let's go through the list. This
on.
was actually posted by the Huffington Post, Andrew Losowski, who goes through these books about why people get judged and why judging those people is the wrong thing to do. Let's start with number 1, 50 Shades of Grey. Well,
shocker.
Why do you judge someone who reads that book? Well, she must be desperate. She must be sick-minded. Well, he says, it has become a cultural reference point and has allowed people to discover the passion and erotic practices that may have been lacking in their own lives. You see someone at the airport, they're reading a Bible. Why would you judge them? Well, maybe it's kind of like how Tim Tebow was judged, with people saying, keep it to yourself.
Right.
Well, Andrew says, an atheist, self-confessed atheist, told me a few years ago, the Bible is much bigger than the power of the church. It's connected to our history, and it's vital literature for us as human beings. Our laws, our morals, they all come from the Bible, whether you like it or not.
What about that old trick where you're reading something inside a Bible, but it's not really the Bible? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that can be bad.
Good trick.
Yeah.
The Hobbit. Why would you judge someone reading The Hobbit? Oh, they must play Dungeons and Dragons at the park.
Yeah.
You know, well, Andrew says...
maybe.
So, it's okay for you to watch the Lord of the Rings movies, but if someone goes back to the source material, they're a loser. Same goes for any fantasy novels. When you were younger, you loved its imagination and magic. Just because you traded in your belief for dragons for a job that you hate doesn't mean you have to sneer at those who have such narrow-minded views, who don't have such narrow-minded views. Now, the next book that he lists is Mein Kampf by Hitler. Oh, that person must be a Nazi supporter. Andrew says Hitler was a hideous, twisted person. But he was a person easily damned by his own words as well as his deeds. Reading Mein Kampf does not make you a Nazi. If we don't study evil, we will not understand it. And the last one that he lists here, he actually listed 9, but I picked just these few here just for time purposes, the Quran. And by the way, if you know that someone's reading the Quran based off of that cover, then you know your books pretty well. It doesn't really give a lot of indication there. But he says, do we really need to explain why reading this book might be a good idea? Sneering or reacting negatively to someone reading this book is not just antisocial, but it brings on damaging stereotypes that make people feel afraid and unwelcome. We did want to reach out to our viewers on Facebook and ask, have you ever been judged? Have you ever read any of these books? And Tony had a good response. I have read 5 of the books on that list. No one has said anything to me about reading them. All I ever hear about is questions about if I like the book and if I'd recommend it. I don't give much thought at all to what other people are reading. I also don't care about what other people think. So if you see this guy judging you, who cares what he thinks? Just keep on reading.
Do Maher's moment.
Let's do it. Are you guys ready for a vacation?
Yes.
Do you have any plan coming up soon? I do. Can't come soon enough. Well, the Associated Press put out this article, and the author said, as the year began, this must have been a New Year's resolution for him, he said, I decided I'd get serious about doing a digital cleanup to save money and improve my online life. As a result, I'm due to save more than $2,000 a year, money that I can spend on a nice vacation, because a nice vacation can cost you about $2,000 a year, depending on what you want to do. Here's how he did it. He said, are you still paying for an AOL account even though you can get most of its services for free? If so, you're one of about 2.6 million people who pay an AOL account on average for $19 a month. Access to email and other services have been free since 2006.
AOL?
AOL.
My mom does that.
What?
She's one of the ones, yeah.
But you can get AOL for free. If
Right.
you just tell them, yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's
we
that's
need
the
to
point.
get together and talk to my mom about it.
Yeah,
What about your
intervention.
cable plan?
Okay.
How much are you dropping for
too
channels like
much.
HBO, Cinemax, Encore? By dropping cable and going with Netflix or Hulu and purchase your occasional favorite show from Amazon or Apple's iTunes, you can save $1,300 a year. And then he also says, check your credit card bills for recurring charges. Perhaps there's a gym membership that you don't use, or maybe you're paying for a credit monitoring service like he was. He dropped that service, saved him $132 a year. You add it all up. $2,000 a year is what he's saving. Cable can run you a lot. There's no
Cable
question about it. It runs me
expensive.
about $130 a month, but I like my HBO.
And it's a
I
write-off.
know.
Yeah, it is a tax
a
write-off.
write-off.
That's a good point.
Ah,
I had
good
one
tips, though.
other thing
Okay.
to show, and this comes from a...
News 10 is everywhere you want to be.
Oh, that, you know, it wasn't that video. That's
is
not
that
one of my
it?
trending
Way
videos.
to kill the
there.
show there.
Yeah. This actually comes from a baseball game, and if me and you were at a game,
Okay.
we're not married,
No.
but just as my friend,
Okay.
a flying bat comes or a flying ball, my instinct is to protect you.
Thank you.
I love your face.
Thank
Sells
you.
that.
This
Yeah.
guy,
Me
it's
too.
the
I'd like to see
husband
that.
of the wife. Look what he did.
As he fouls one to the right, the bat goes to the left. Ends up in the seats. The guy in the yellow bailing, leaving his wife there to fend for herself. I don't know about you, but I'm out of here.
Oh, he was out of there.
He was out of there, Dan.
It's each man or woman for themselves.
All
That's
right.
the way it goes.
We're out of time. See you back here in an hour for News 10 Midday. Oh my good. Every man for himself.
That's it.
News 10 is everywhere you want to be.